Yeah, I don't think it's going to go for an hour somehow.
Welcome to the podcast. Damn it.
If only they'd take the penis out of my ass, honestly.
We'll segue into that in a minute. I'm going to take a really quick piss and then we'll get this thing started. Alright, so shall we give this fucking raz then? Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. My name's Keegs and welcome to podcast number 24 of the We Play podcast. I'm joined tonight with Xenon once again.
Hello, Internet.
And with the Peanut Gallery consisting of Nate, Pugs and Rebel.
Hey!
The 20th of July 2015, and we've had a rather large week of news.
It's been busy, isn't it?
It has been busy.
It was almost so busy that we almost did a podcast last week.
There was a lot to catch up on. However, I'm kind of glad we didn't, because most of these things a lot of it dwindled itself away by the end of the week. But there are still some pretty big things going on. Yeah, as news does. There are some pretty big subjects this week. Some sad news, some glad news, and all in between.
Glad news?
Yes, glad news.
That'd be good news, or?
You heard me.
I like
Glad
your
news
play
week.
on words.
Glad news week.
It's glad news week.
Good.
Could you actually imagine a gallery of peanuts, though? That'd be weird.
Oh, I don't know. Depends if you like peanuts.
Yeah.
It'd be a delicious podcast.
Elephants wouldn't know what to do.
No, they wouldn't.
We all
Lose their fucking mind.
How much health you got, Heath?
Oh, I've got 360.
Our peanut gallery is currently playing Terraria.
Is you playing Terraria?
Yeah.
I thought you were playing some rally game.
There you go, Heath.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, they're all playing Terraria now.
Fair enough.
Oh, you must be
Anyway.
cool, Heath.
We are
We
on
shall
the
begin the
Terraria train.
news off on a sad note, I'm afraid. The the CEO and president of Nintendo has passed away. Satoru Iwata.
Is that right?
I think so.
Sad times.
It is very sad times. A lot of childhood memories went with him.
Yeah. Well, he was one of
I
those.
didn't know him personally, but it's quite sad.
Yeah. Well, he's one of those. He's one of those CEOs, and there's a few of them in Japan where he was a gamer first and CEO second. So I mean, he started in games sort of early on, and he took the reins of Nintendo in like 2000, and even after he became CEO, he still had a hand in quite a few of their popular games like Zelda and Mario.
He was, yes, still young. He was only 55 when he passed away. Yeah, it was. What was the cancer? It was bile duct.
Yeah, he had a bile duct growth,
Bile
and he had
duct, yeah.
complications from that. I don't know too much about it, but yeah, he sadly
Walking the
passed
dog.
away.
Yeah. He was the developer of Kirby, Earthbound, and the Smash Brothers series, which is some pretty, Smash Brothers especially is a pretty big series. Earthbound's still quite popular.
Where's Pugsley?
He also helped on Zelda and Mario and Animal Crossing, all the big names in Nintendo, so it's sad to see him gone.
He also oversaw the introduction of the Wii and the DS, which sort of took Nintendo from they were lagging a little bit in the early 2000s, and then introduced those, and it really took off.
And he was even a big character with his banana, holding his stack of bananas, and his latest debut at E3 with the Muppets, or the puppets, Jim Henson's puppets, playing him and some of the other CEOs, the American CEO, and
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
Randy Mario.
Pissing stars.
Sounds bizarre.
Sounds like a fun guy.
Oh, is that a
He
mushroom
wasn't
joke?
that mushroom.
Weird to me, but it is now.
Is that a
Keep it under
segue
wraps.
or what?
No.
It was bad enough to be.
Segue to what?
Yeah, it was bad enough to be. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's sad news. Sad news. But I don't know how to segue from that.
I was going to
sad
say, you
news.
can't. Whenever there's death, there's no segue.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah,
Okay.
Pugs.
as one hero falls, another one may rise from some ashes, possibly. Sega is trying to revitalize its name after a very horrible year of, horrible few years of Sonic games, really.
Mm.
They've been struggling to get out the gate.
You
And
got-
they've recognised this. They've come forward and said, we've realised that our last few Sonic games have been absolute utter trash. And we want to change that. So, yeah, they've come forward and said that they're going to try and rebuild, well, not rebuild, but restructure the company and restructure their way of, I guess, developing games.
Yeah, I mean, it's like the sort of. It's one of the. I don't know if it's a PR, not a stunt, but just some PR saying, the CEO came out and going, right, we're gonna change the way we do things. When in fact in January they laid off 300 employees from their San Francisco branch, and now they're saying they're going to focus on, smartphone applications and PC games. So, I mean, Sega's not generally a name associated with high-end PC games or any PC games really. It's very much a console name.
Based company.
Yeah. I guess, even though they've said this, I mean, what does that really change to the way anybody looks at them? It's like, oh, okay, they know that they've struggled and now they're going to try and fix it, but are they going to fix it? I mean,
Yeah.
They all hyped about this new Sonic, and everybody was like, "These be good this time," and it really wasn't. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they don't have a DS. They don't have console. I mean, they don't have. Sorry, not a DS. They don't have any hardware. They don't make hardware anymore. They're basically just a software company, and they're only really making PC games and smartphone applications. So, presumably smartphone games. I don't know of what actual games they make, but.
They made games across console, but it's just like that's all they are now. They're just developing games, and so far they're just trying to run off the nostalgia of their old games.
Yeah.
But not putting any effort into them. So yeah.
Yeah, I can see
Here's a
Sega.
game you used to love. Play it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think they're doing a lot trying to. They've leveraged their name for a long time and their brand, and now it's pretty much dead as a brand. It's something that people of our age sort of know quite well, but haven't heard of anything from in the last 20 years. So.
Yeah, they're like, hey, everybody loves Sonic. Let's make a new Sonic game. They'll love it. They have to. And then it comes out. It's like everybody hated it. Shit. What do we do now?
What do we do?
Yeah.
Let's not make another game. Let's
Yeah.
make mobile games because people buy them anyway.
Yeah, I mean, I could see Sonic
Who doesn't
working.
buy mobile games?
Yeah, I mean, I can see Sonic working on the mobile platform, but as a PC games and console games, I can't really see Sonic working anymore.
Should just make a Candy Crush Sonic. That'd sell hotcakes, I reckon.
Yep. So you get into the game, and then
I'd
you get
buy
to the
7.
you get to the first ring, and then you get hit, and all your rings drop, and it'll say, "For $5, do you want to get 5 more rings?" And continue playing. It's like, oh, okay. I love Sonic. Thousands of dollars.
Yeah, I can't see that working.
Take my money, Sonic.
Speaking of people taking your money.
Yes.
That was your
Fallout
intro,
Shelter.
Keeks.
Oh, okay. Oh, I'm introducing it. Am I?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, actually, I'll get it. So Fallout Shelter.
Or it can just take your money.
Yes, take your money and run.
Yeah.
So Fallout Shelter has raked in 5.1 million in the last 2 weeks, or its first 2 weeks. So that's a lot of money by anyone's standards, considering the last game, Fallout 3, in total raked in about $60 million. So over the life of its entire lifetime.
And it's even more impressive that it's a free-to-play game.
Exactly. Yeah.
Microtransactions.
It's all
that
through
they got the
in-app
money from.
purchases. Yeah, that's crazy.
That's sad.
And a little sad, yeah, I agree.
That's the future, people.
That's actually-
Microtransactions in phones.
Yeah. That's only on the iOS App Store. I don't know if they had an Android version, but
There's one coming.
oh, they haven't even so they haven't even done an Android version yet.
No.
Oh, so it's people with too much money anyway.
We're looking at a specific demographic now.
Yes, that's it.
So that's
Yeah, I don't really know what to say about it. It's a lot of money for a mobile app. I've heard it's pretty good, but I've heard its longevity is quite short. So it sort of gets a bit repetitive after a while. I don't even know what sort of in-game purchases there are. I think I've seen a couple where...
I
not
haven't
even
played
sure.
it, so I don't really know.
I was going to say, has
Yeah.
anyone played it? Or
I've seen some videos of it, and I remember seeing somebody talk about the in-game purchases, but I can't remember what they were. I think they just might have been buffs or new special rooms and stuff like that. Nothing overtly game changing or anything. Just enough to pique your interest to buy them. Which is the general way mobile games make money anyway.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm sort of sad that this is the way things are going. I mean, you can make so much money in 2 weeks by releasing a fairly average, mobile game.
Which
Instead of
what's
an actual
really
game.
sad is what's really
Well, it
sad
just
is
means that more
this,
people have mobiles.
yeah,
Well, this might make more money than Fallout 4, which is
That is sad.
yeah, I don't know about that.
5.1 million in 2 weeks from something that hasn't even been like they didn't warm anybody up for it. They're just like, hey, we're bringing this out because why not?
Yeah, it's true.
Because why not?
I mean, when you think about the time that was probably invested to
Fuck, is that
create
Heath?
this compared to the time that was invested to create Fallout 4, the work for gain was probably quite a lot more with this phone app than it was for, it may be for Fallout 4. Fallout 4 is probably going to do well. Fallout 4 will do really, really well, let's face it. But yeah, for something this small with such a big payoff, it's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And you've also got to remember that the in-app purchases don't stop. I mean, it's like with Fallout, you buy the game and then that's it. Whereas with the in-app purchases, you can keep purchasing as you go along, and it's spread out over a much wider period.
However, with something like, I imagine the longevity is not as long as Fallout 4.
I guess
I mean,
not.
Fallout 4 might have DLC and stuff down the track like they did with Fallout 3 with New Vegas and things like that. Whereas this is going to be like this 2 week 1.5 million might be it. Now it's just going to sort of drop off. Maybe, I don't know.
Wasn't New Vegas its own
Oh
game?
shit!
Not an expansion for 3?
I
it
think
could've
New Vegas
been.
was its own game.
Yeah.
But it was the same engine and everything.
Oh, I'm dead.
Oh, I'm dead as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I thought it was an expansion, but who knows? I didn't play.
No,
much
I
Fallout 3.
bought it separately, I think.
Join the red party, Heath.
I remember it being
buddy.
almost more. I remember it being almost more popular than Fallout 3.
Yeah. But Fotis wants to know how much you spent on CS:GO, since we're talking about money.
I'm not discussing that. I'm not saying I'm not a victim of in-game purchases or microtransactions. But like I said, this is going to be the future. I mean,
What do you mean victim? What's this victim word you're throwing around?
hey, they put it on my face, and I have a card, and it all just went haywire. They didn't. They didn't protect me.
What? You don't need protecting. You're an adult.
They had a duty of care.
That's right. That's right. There was no gambling warnings on those cases.
Gambling warning.
I
Big
think they
gambling
need
warning
it.
on
They
your
are
card.
basically gambling. They're
Pretty
like-
sure there's a user agreement at the start.
Yeah. I actually don't condone those sort of cases though, especially for children, because they are going to get people young addicted to gambling young. Because it's exactly what they are. It's just like a slot machine.
It's not really gambling though, because you are buying not a physical object, but you're buying and getting something for getting a return. There's not a chance of not getting something.
Yeah, but
But
that's not the draw of it. The draw of it is that you spend $2.50, it opens, and you might get something worth $2,500.
I guess.
But instead, you get something worth 30 cents.
Yeah, you're more likely to get something worth a lot less than what you paid for,
Exactly.
which is the
Oh,
definition of
Heath.
gambling.
You may want to pick up that 4 gold.
We've got plenty of gold.
Keeg
Yeah.
sounds bitter about this. Like he's been
I'm
disappointed
not
many,
bitter
many
about it.
times.
I
Thwarted.
think they need a
It's some
somewhat
ice
warning
machine.
on it
Mm.
because it is gambling. It's straight up gambling. And
Reese has got a problem.
I can imagine it's going to affect a lot of kids and should bring them into gambling earlier than they should be. And that's
Yeah.
why you have to be 18 in this country anyway to gamble. And now you can be whatever age, play this game, and if you've got money in your Steam wallet, you can quite quickly get caught
15.
up in it.
It is blurring the lines, isn't
15. Yeah.
it? Okay.
Yes.
Blurred lines.
Anyway.
I was waiting for. Speaking of blurred lines. Hey.
I don't
Yeah.
see the.
I don't see the segue either. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it sounded good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. That was a
Sounded
great segue to nothing, so we're going to open
Yeah.
the next door.
So
PewDiePie
speaking,
made $7 million.
indeed he did. That's a lot of money.
Yeah,
some blurred lines
speaking of
there.
other people that make a lot of money.
There's some blurred
Yeah.
lines right there.
Yeah, so
Apparently-
he grossed over 7 million for the financial year 2014, and I think he gave he raised over $1 million to charity. And I've got a sneaky suspicion he actually gives a lot of it also to charity as well as raising some. So, yeah,
Probably.
he's doing well for himself.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it is. I don't see why this is such a big issue. I mean, I can understand people being annoyed or, I guess, jealous or whatever
A little
about it.
salty.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is kind of fair enough. I mean, he gets to do what we all love doing and gets a fuckload for it, which is, somewhat annoying, but good for him. He got the lucky ticket.
Mm. Yeah, he did. He was sort of right place, right time, and he was able to capitalise on it and make it work. So,
Yeah.
good on him for doing well.
Whether you agree with his efforts or not, but one thing that I was annoyed at is I watched his videos as a rebuttal about people, making big news about him earning all this money,
Mhm.
and some of the comments that people left, which were obviously
Toxic.
quite toxic, yeah. But one of them especially was, and one he read out was that somebody said that how can people who put their lives up, like emergency response people and people who go to war, like soldiers and whatnot, get paid less than somebody who sits down and plays games all day? And I thought that was a very stupid comment when entertainers generally get paid more than anybody anyway.
Yeah,
Mm.
it's got nothing to do with him. It's society's issue
Yeah, that's right.
in
I
that
mean,
sense.
somebody who can kick a ball through a goal gets paid millions and millions of dollars a year. People who can sing get paid millions and millions of dollars a year. People who can entertain get paid more than people with trade, who are trained to do what they do. So,
Mm.
I mean, you can't really
Because what
be
people
angry
want
with that.
these days, they want entertainment.
That's it. I mean, spend your hard day earning fuck all. You want to come home and watch something that makes you laugh, or watch somebody else with much more skill than you do something better.
Yeah.
kick footballs and shit.
or play CS:GO.
And yell at
In
it.
Keegs' case.
Yeah, and then you can yell at them when you know that you would have done better, but you actually could, but you're going to yell at them anyway because they're on TV. I know how this works.
I had a TV once.
Yeah, I had TV once too.
You'll have a TV.
So yeah, he's sponsored. He's raised money for quite a few charities, including the World Wildlife Fund, Save the Children, St Jude Hospital, and there's a charity called Water, I think. And yeah, so he's doing pretty well, and I think like it'd be very easy for him just to take all his money and just sit in a mansion and just pump out videos every day. But at least he's actually doing something with the money, doing something worthwhile and useful. So good
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, he's doing what he loves and getting paid very well for it. I mean, yeah, how can you really fault him?
Mm.
Yeah. We'd all love to be doing it.
I was going to say, pretty much everyone would do it if they had the chance.
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
it,
And
yeah.
and as he actually said in his video, he said, if I wasn't here, somebody else would be here anyway. So
Of course.
and that's true. There's
That's
always
just
going to be
that's just society as well.
yeah, there's going to be somebody on that pedestal that everybody loves to hate. So
Mhm.
whatever. Life is life.
Such as life race.
worth pointing out he's actually got 37 million subscribers, up from 27 million the previous year.
Oh, really?
That's 10 million.
That's a lot up in a year.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
a lot.
And he's so far ahead of the next number 2 person, who I forget offhand who it is, but they've got something like 12 million, I think. So he's obviously doing something right.
Ridiculous.
That could probably also be that YouTube is starting to snowball in popularity as well.
Could be, but he's also got a very
I found.
specific demographic as well. Like he's very much in the teen, teen
Tweens.
demographic, the tweens demographic. So,
So what you're saying is in between.
Yeah. kids and teens, the tweens.
yes.
Because yeah, I don't watch his videos. I don't see any point to them,
Yeah.
or I don't get any enjoyment out of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm sure he's a nice guy.
But like I feel the same watching his videos as I do watching kids shows. It's just sort of a lot
It's
of
aimed
of
at the younger.
yelling and laughing and like flashy lights. So I guess that's why it's so popular with that demographic.
Flashy
Going to
lights.
the show.
Yeah. But in saying that, I do listen to his podcast with Cinnamon Toast Ken, and that's actually pretty interesting because that's outside of what he's usually doing and just him talking about things that are going on, which is quite interesting and a bit more adult. But yeah, anyway, that's PewDiePie. He made a lot of money, and
He'll probably make more next
And
year.
people hate him for it.
yeah, and he'll probably make even more next year.
Yeah.
Alrighty, what's next?
A teenager who ruined Christmas has been caught.
What?
Only one?
Christmas.
I didn't see that one.
Basically, the Grinch.
Is this the PlayStation Network?
Yes.
Ah.
It's a member of the Lizard Squad, 17-year-old,
Ah, yes.
who he's been charged with 50,700 offences.
Wow. Is that
That's
one
right.
for each account he's disrupted?
I have no
during that
idea.
time?
Who
like,
knows?
they
One
knows?
for each DDoS that haven't.
Probably. Yeah,
Sounds
for
about
every
right.
DDoS.
Yeah.
For every packet sent,
Yeah.
he has been charged.
Probably.
Holy moly.
Yeah. There's a lot of offences, so they didn't actually specify what the actual crimes were, but I suspect it's probably something like that, where it's a crime for every computer that is used to DDoS somebody.
Yeah.
So
However, he was young enough that he's not going to. He hasn't. I don't even think he has to pay any money.
Nope.
He is under house arrest.
Yep.
And he is currently
Not allowed
now,
near the internet.
No, he's actually currently now forcefully employed as an anti-hacker or anti-cyber terrorism with
Really?
the government.
How old is this kid?
That's the best way to get a job.
17.
Yeah.
Well,
it is.
that's what I thought. I'm like, you
It's-
want to hear about this shit on the movies? Does this actually happen? So yeah,
It's almost encouraging.
That's catch me if you can shit right there.
Yeah.
yeah, but I can imagine that it would be more like if anybody's seen House of Cards, where that guy like hates it because he has to. He's stuck there and he can't do anything about it. Okay.
I've seen House of
Never
Cards,
seen
but
House
I've
of
only
Cards.
seen probably the first 5 episodes, 6 episodes.
Okay.
Maybe.
But anyway,
Yeah.
he's under house arrest as well, so he can't go anywhere. And then the government is going to make you most likely fight your friends.
Mm. Yeah, I can't see that going wrong at all. The bit
And
that-
then once he's 18,
yeah.
they're just going to use that as leverage, saying, "Look, unless you do this, you're going to prison."
Yeah. I mean, he got given a 2-year suspended sentence. This is in Finland. And he wasn't named by the, like, in the court... Oh, sorry, he was named in the court documents, but not in the actual media. But then one of the guys, I think one of the security analysts, published a blog with his name in it, so... I mean, he did it deliberately,
Yeah,
it wasn't
I
an
didn't
accident.
Well, because I didn't think you were actually... Well, I know the government isn't allowed to release any names under 18
Yeah.
or under whatever their adult...
That's
is.
that's here.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
pretty
the
sure it's
same.
the same in America.
Mm.
Yeah, or wherever.
Well, he's not in the
or-
US, is he?
Well, I'm sure there'd be something similar around the world that that you want to protect minors.
Yeah.
They wear big hats and stuff. They're fine.
But They're deep underground. Nobody cares about them.
Yeah.
They ride skateboards and are hooligans.
Oh, I see what you did
But
there.
yes, he was one of the people that were involved in taking down the PlayStation Xbox network during their release, the Christmas of their release, which angered a lot of people, including myself. I was quite annoyed. Couldn't play my PS4 over Christmas.
That would have shat a lot of people. I reckon at least he should be required to work and pay off, the damages that he's caused. Because to be in the hundreds of thousands.
But really, what damages are there? What real damages are there?
Money
huge damages for Sony and Xbox.
Monetary damages.
Some kids couldn't play Xbox for a day.
damages.
Yeah, but they couldn't buy anything either.
There's a lot of lost
And
revenue.
most games require patches, which they couldn't download anyway.
Yeah, fair enough.
There's a lot of lost revenue by PlayStation and was it PlayStation and Xbox?
I mean, imagine if somebody took down Steam. All of your information is on there. All of your games.
Is it really lost though? Or is it just the next day?
It was a week, 2 weeks, nearly.
Oh, okay. Fair
They
enough.
were DDoSed, and they just couldn't. Yeah, you couldn't log in. You couldn't do anything. I'd turn my PS4 on, and then it wouldn't be able to log into the PlayStation Network. I couldn't do anything. Which is a problem with DRM, but
So they also found him guilty of tampering with servers at MIT and Harvard, as well as money laundering.
Oh, fair enough then.
As well as money laundering.
Yep.
Jesus,
He's a great kid.
But I'm guessing money laundering is probably sticking money in bitcoins and then taking it back out again. That's probably their money laundering.
It'd be under the same umbrella of digital currency. But however, recently after this, the CEO of Daybreak, who used to be Sony Entertainment Sony Online Entertainment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sony Online
Sony.
Entertainment.
Who have big hits like Side 2 and mostly playing Side 2. I think it's a big and Hizzy H1Z1.
Hizzy.
Yeah, because they were quite hurt during the original attacks. He sort of lashed out on Twitter after they found out that he wasn't being charged, and threatened that he was going to go after his parents and sue them and blah blah.
Oh, I thought that was still happening though.
That
probably,
may
who
well still
knows?
happen, but I doubt anything will come of it.
However, the backlash of that is that the leftover, we assume the leftover Lizard Squad took that as a very, very hard threat and then demolished the servers of PlanetSide 2 and H1Z1. DDoSed them to oblivion.
Yep. So there's actually a running backstory between, is it Brian somebody from Daybreak? What was the name of the CEO guy?
His name was John Smeedley.
I don't think that was the guy. It might have been the same guy. But he was the one making sort of the threats that was gonna come after his parents, and but there was a backstory in that that guy actually the hacker his name is Zekiel online. Zekiel? Yeah, Zekiel. Actually grounded his plane by calling it a bomb threat. And he's doing a bunch of other things.
Yes.
There's a bunch of other things going on. Basically like a backwards and forwards type arrangement. And so that guy, the CEO guy, got pretty pissed off and took to Twitter in a tirade against him. And then he got found guilty, but essentially suspended sentence for 2 years. So he was pissed. I think rightly so.
I didn't remember reading that.
I'd be pretty pissed too, to be honest. I wouldn't like my plane grounded, or knowing that somebody has the ability to find where I am and ground the plane that I'm on. A bit scary.
Yeah.
But yes. Anyway.
Next.
Naughty planes being grounded.
Doing damage and stuff. Yeah.
All that
How do I
flying angst.
How do I segue?
In their hangar, playing emo music really loud.
I hate the world. I'm so sick of this. Nobody understands me.
Playing your
I'm a hacker. Yeah.
Jumbo jet.
Kickstarters.
Nope. Try again.
Yeah, I don't know how to segue into this. Things that have taken off planes. Hey, hey, hey.
I like it.
Yeah. Okay. So Shenmue 3? Shenmue 3
Was it the
has
dating simulator?
No.
I think it's something along those lines. Shenmue 3 has broken a record on Kickstarter for one of the highest started video games.
Yeah. So
After-
is it? So it's the most highly funded video game, and it's the 8th highest funded project at $5.5 million.
Good. I can't believe some of these other ones. I haven't even heard of Pebble Time, whatever that was. 20 million. Insane.
That's a project. Pebble Time is a watch.
Yeah. I just can't believe somebody got $20 million on Kickstarter. That's
I can't believe the
incredible
fucking
amount of
coolest
money.
cooler. Have you seen that?
Yeah, that was pretty
Cordless
cool.
cooler?
That is
Cool. Oh yeah,
the
actually,
coolest
I did
The
see
cooler.
coolest
It's
cooler.
the stupidest
Oh, the
thing on the
coolest cooler.
planet.
Yeah,
it got $13 million.
it's pretty gimmicky.
Yeah, it's
Is
super
it?
gimmicky. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is it?
13 million?
Go and look it up.
It's
Did
a
they,
cooler with
did they
a
spin
whole
on
heap
it?
of different stuff in it.
Playing.
It's
got
like
a
a cooler.
TV and
Yeah, and a
stuff.
radio, and it's like you can sit on it, and it's like, well, it's basically a cooler with some shit attached to
So it's like every
It's a-
radio that every tradesman has ever.
it.
Yeah.
It's a mobile home cooler,
Mm.
basically,
But for the
like,
consumer.
without a roof.
Yeah, that's.
For the
I've
consumer.
got one with Ryobi written on it.
Oh yes, yes. But yeah. Anyway, that happened because
Mm.
it was released at Sony's press at E3. They sort of came out and said, "Oh, we're helping this guy. I can't remember his name.
This is Shenmue 3, not the stupid cooler thing.
Yeah. Yes. This is
No one's
yeah,
gonna
Shenmue.
no one's gonna announce a
Shenmue the
stupid
whale.
stupid cooler at E3.
Shenmue.
Look
Yeah,
at what I've
anyway,
created.
They've sort of come out at E3, and to be honest, I'd never fucking heard of this game, but apparently it was huge back in the day.
Yeah, I didn't know anything
I
about
think
it
it was
either. I was surprised that
It was on like
you know, I got
was
a
it on Dreamcast or something?
pass. I'm sure chat will know. Let us know.
Oh,
Chat.
Sega Dreamcast.
It was Dreamcast or the other one. What was the other one?
Yeah, it's a Dreamcast.
GameCube. It was Dreamcast. Yeah.
The original.
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
Dreamcast.
Yeah, and apparently it was quite popular. I'd never heard of it before.
Which is why I was wondering why they threw so much money at that first one.
Yeah, it was up between $45 and $70 million for the first one. Like costs.
Ridiculous amount of money for the 90s.
US dollars. That's insane. Well, yeah, especially for the time. I mean, nowadays that's that's all right.
You guys bring the Eye of Cthulhu.
Just
But,
appeared.
No, just working. Just decided to pop up.
But yeah, anyway,
Going up here.
that happened, and it's obviously it's well past its goal. I believe they only wanted 5. No, they didn't even want that much, like $1 million or something.
I can't even find the tab.
I
I've
think it
got
was
a million
just-
tabs open.
I think it was just enough to get it started. I think I looked at it today. They only wanted 2 million.
I can't find it now.
But anyway, that
I've
well
lost
and truly reached their goal, and Shenmue 3 we going
Shenmue.
ahead. Shenmue.
So
Sounds
that's-
like a type of dog.
Oh yeah, sorry. It was it was
Does.
2 million. Raised 6.3 now, as of time of writing.
Wow, that's incredible.
Isn't that crazy? They haven't next highest. I think was
Turn back, bugs.
beat out the Ouya, which is a
The Symphony was the highest one,
yeah with like 5.553
I believe.
or 545.
545.
Yeah,
it's
so about five
just
and a
under
half.
10 grand. They beat it by
Well, at the time of writing, they're actually now at
like
6.3. So
8 grand. Well, it's fucking miles ahead then.
yeah, so they're now at 6.3. And I think it's actually ended now. I don't think you can pledge anymore.
She's all done.
All
They had
done.
a big stream across the world the other day, during the last 24 hours or something. But
Yeah.
yeah, so that's going ahead, and hopefully it's a good game because everybody seems to be raving about it. Yeah.
We should
I've
get
heard
together
things.
and do a live stream of it when it comes out, Keeks.
In like 3 years when they finish developing it.
Yeah.
You'll get the pre-early access super alpha in a couple of months.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Pre-access Super Alpha.
With
Super
paid
Metal
installments per update.
Down here, gents.
Yeah.
Go down here.
Anyway,
Hey, what?
Go down here.
so that happened. Speaking of other Japanese developers, that was Japanese, if I'm right there.
Uh-huh.
Kojima Productions has officially disbanded.
Yes, Kojima is Japanese.
Yeah.
According to the
I wasn't sure whether Shenmue was, but I believe it was.
yeah, so that's according to the Japanese voice actor whose name is Otsuka
I think
Akio.
since then it's been more firmed.
Has it? Okay. Yeah, I haven't read much about it
Yeah.
since then. So yeah, so they essentially just like it's been a long time coming, but there's just sort of been no real news coming out about what's happening with Metal Gear Solid 5. I believe the current thinking is that Metal Gear Solid 5 is actually going to be completed, but further than that,
Yeah, Phantom Pain is Phantom Pain is going to be finished. They talked about that at E3. It
Okay.
was more about whether Kojima was going to continue his work because they took his name off of it.
Yeah.
Even the latest, like, because you can see that they started putting up the pre-orders and that for Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain, and it had Kojima's name on it. Recently, they've updated that and wiped his name off of it.
I seem to remember talking about
Which
this
is
a couple of
all-
weeks ago.
Yeah, but it's gotten even worse now because this is even like cover art of the actual physical copies have been his name taken off.
I really want to know who really pissed off who.
Yeah, I want to know whether is he leaving or has he been forced to leave and he's under like a non-disclosure or because
It's a lot of money they're just throwing away.
yeah, I mean
Metal Gear is a really popular series.
Yeah, and Kojima's got a huge following. Everything he's done has been, well, pretty much everything he's done has been gold.
Yeah.
So it's kind of sad to see him leaving, and now everybody's wondering like, what's he going to do next? Like, is he going to go off on his own, or is somebody going to pick him up? Because I'm sure people are ringing him 24/7 saying, so what are you doing? When are you going to come work for us?
Right?
Yeah. He's billions of dollars. Come over here. We want anything you've got. Yeah.
We want all your stuffs.
However, the company he's left behind, Konami, have discussed that they will now be pursuing mobile games aggressively, which is a bit sad.
Everything's going mobile. I mean, that's where the money is, but it's not where. I can't see it as a long-term.
True experiences.
Yeah, it's not. Maybe I'm just too old.
Maybe.
That's what they said about Farmville.
Farmville.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Said Farmville wouldn't last.
We hope
It's
Farmville will
because all
last.
these companies, all these companies are looking at the monetary stats rather than if there's money to be made, they're going to go there, which is, I guess,
Yeah, that's
in
it.
in a company brain, then that's the right way to go. If you want to make money, you got to go where the money is. It's like mining, anything. You got to go where the market is the hottest, which is annoying for anybody who loves games because we're sitting here going, "Well, fuck, everybody's going to mobile."
Yeah, I don't like mobile for games. I mean, it's fine if you're just sitting in bed and dicking around, but it's not an experience, really, is it?
It's fine if you're 12. Can't afford a console.
It's even sadder to see a company that has made games like Metal Gear and what could have been Silent Hills, which was cancelled. Now they're saying, "Oh, we're going to go mobile." We just erupted the entire planet with Silent Hills, and everybody lost their shit. They're like, "Oh, we're just going to cancel that, and now we're going to go to mobiles because there's obviously more money in that." Kind of a kick in the teeth.
Money controls the world.
It does, and it's a bit sad.
It is a bit sad.
Very sad.
But anyway, You can try and segue this one.
Codemasters, however,
Hopefully.
does not control the world, or even their own games, it seems. Codemasters F1 2015 is very, very broken. So, from what I've been reading about this, it's suffering from all kinds of issues. It's another one of those games that was just like pushed out the door. I mean, we touched on this last week with what game were we talking about last week? Week before last, Keeks.
It's a bit of a trend, isn't it?
Mine card. Been on this Mine Cup.
But
before.
if we're not talking about one shitty game, we're talking about
Batman.
Batman,
That's what
yes.
we're talking
So
about
I mean,
last
this is this week's Batman, F1 2015. It's full of bugs and glitches and if you want to use a controller or a gamepad, as a lot of people do when they're playing this sort of game. I mean, if they're not using a steering wheel,
Yeah.
it's you're screwed. It doesn't work. The audio, a lot of audio stuff is glitchy, or it cuts out, or it's too quiet. So a lot of the stuff that comes over your headset, FPS problems, and this is after the game was delayed a couple of times. So yeah, this is more Batman Arkham Asylum / SimCity / every other game that's been released too early and with not enough polish.
Yeah.
Just your average everyday title these days. AAA title.
That's right.
Yeah.
It seems to be the way at the moment, especially these yearly release titles. They'd like half the time they don't even do anything to them. Like FIFA, you're paying another $100 for a roster upgrade. Like they're just updating the roster of players and spitting out another game.
Mm.
Yeah,
They
they're not
don't
even
do
changing
anything.
game engines
They don't even
anymore.
change anything to the fucking game. Then you got things like F1. I mean, I can't imagine there was a massive engine upgrade in a year. It would have
Nah,
only been
no
a few
way.
bits and pieces. They're better off releasing a DLC rather than trying to.
But
And
then
they're
they
obviously
can't charge full price.
Yes, that is the exact problem. Like
Right.
Pugs has hit the nail on the head there. Someone in a board meeting has gone, why don't we just release a DLC for $20? It's like, because that's less than $60, you dick.
get out,
Get out.
Yeah.
get out.
It's,
You don't
it's
work
the
here anymore.
yeah, the meme where the guy gets thrown out of the building for saying something smart.
Yeah. Out the window.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if you're looking at buying F1 2015, hold off for a couple of months, at the very
If
least.
you've already bought it, refund it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, I'd say refund it until they get this shit together. Rebuy it again later if you
Give
feel the
them a-
need.
Just to
Give
show
them a
them who's boss.
message. Yeah, give them a message that they need to fix it. Don't sit there and wait for them to do it. Refund it.
Actually, yeah,
Spend your
fucking
money on
refund
something
it.
else.
Take your money back and stick it in your bank account and
Just
earn
refund it.
earn 30 cents worth of interest on the $60 you paid, and rebuy it again
This is what
in
bank are you with?
in 3 months, and buy buy it again, and if it works, then great. If not, refund it.
Well, you know, go
Okay.
outside, buy a car.
Yeah, buy a real
Shut
car.
up, Heath. Nobody wants to go outside.
Outside, are you fucking
DLC's
crazy?
terrible.
Also, the graphics are
You
great,
fucking
but
mental.
but the gameplay fucking sucks.
Expensive out there. People talk and you can't mute players.
If only.
People actually want to talk to you.
Player 2 pressing.
Heavens know I tried.
Yeah, I mean, what are your thoughts on? I mean, I know we touched on this quite a bit last week, but what are your thoughts on games being released too early, with too many bugs?
I severely dislike it.
I mean, nobody likes it,
No one
obviously,
likes a
but,
game.
but I mean, is it a problem that we can get around, or do you think it's going to keep happening?
Yeah.
Of course it is.
As long as
It-
people
it-
keep buying, yeah.
It's but the
Especially pre-ordering.
it's a very it's two-sided as well though, because without that, indie developers aren't gonna become big developers because they need that money coming in to continue development. AA titles shouldn't be doing this, but I can understand indie titles doing this, but they're obviously a lot lower cost anyway. Or like Kickstarters and things like that. Although even Kickstarter is becoming a bit fucking dodgy because there's so many times where they've just stopped the project halfway through, taken the money and left, or run out of money.
Remember the good old days when you actually had to buy a game on a CD, so it had to be fully working? There was no
Yeah,
updates or anything. You actually,
yeah, but that was the
that
problem
the
with that
final
too.
game.
That was the problem with that though.
Yeah,
You
that-
didn't
yeah,
have any
that was it.
updates.
Well, the thing is, I mean, how many titles? I mean, imagine back in let's say 1990, they released a game like this that had as many bugs as it did on CD or floppy disk, because it probably was back then.
Yeah, you'd have
Imagine,
mass hysteria.
yeah, you'd be like, well, I'm gonna take my money, go back and get my money back because this is very, very
Yeah.
broken. I mean, why has it suddenly become an issue now? I mean, obviously the amount of money you're spending on it and the complexity of it is much greater now than it was back then. But it's also you're also selling a lot more of them, and you've got a much bigger team behind you. So
Yeah, there's places where it works or it's helping the community, and then there's a lot of places where it isn't. And I don't think we're ever going to find a balance. I mean, the refunds from Steam have certainly helped because it's given more power to the consumer. So if something is crap, then we can say, well, fuck it, we don't want it, and take it back to the kitchen. Whereas before, we just had to sit on it and go, well, that sucked, and then we're just going to vote you the worst company of the year, which does nothing in the end because
I think
you're
EA
limited to the
almost take
products.
pride in that title.
Yeah, that's right. They're trying for it now. Although they have done some recent ups to some of the Battlefield series, which is quite good. But that's a different story.
I really don't think
Where to God if they
large
fuck up
companies.
Battlefront.
I really don't think
Yeah.
large companies like EA and that should be able to start a Kickstarter for a game.
are they allowed
No,
to?
but
They don't.
They don't. Which
They don't?
is fine. But I don't think they should be allowed.
I think there should be restrictions on
pre-orders.
them even using like instant.
Yeah,
Pre-orders.
that's sort of what I was
And
getting
early
at. Like
access.
anything where you can pre-order it, and
Yeah.
it's only half done.
Yeah, I don't think pre-orders should be a thing, especially if I'm not sure how pre-orders work with the Steam refund. Like if you pre-order before 14 days, can you still
Yes, you can.
return the game?
Yep.
That's of release date, is it?
Yes. So if you pre-order a game, it's you can play it for up to 2 hours and up to 14 days from the day it actually gets released, not from the day that you pre-order / buy it from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're getting quite a lot of questions about this, but we'll have a Q&A. I think we've got one more thing to get through. Then
Well, Scath actually made a very good point. And I said, this didn't happen back in the 80s and 90s, and he made a very good point. He said they did, and it was called a game called E.T., which we touched on a few podcasts ago.
Yeah, but away though, with ET, that was so much more on the company than on the consumer. Like, yes, a few people were burnt, but the reason they buried them is because nobody bought them. Because that's actually true. Had to invest a lot of money in making the cartridges and getting like all the stock.
Yeah.
So they assumed, this is quite possibly what the market demand will be. This is how much we're going to make. And then the market turns around and buys like 2 copies and goes, this is crap.
Yeah.
So they had to bury the rest of them and then dispose of all evidence that they ever existed.
Well, E.T. was kind of the exception that proved the rule, given that everybody knows about E.T. I mean, how many dodgy releases have there been in the last 5 years for us?
Yeah.
And how many dodgy releases were there, in the 1980s / 90s? On the same scale that they're on now, given that you couldn't fix it back then.
Yeah, and that's also that this sort of comes in a bit of a circle that back then, that not particularly that incident, but around that time, because a few other things happened, that nearly caused the crash in the gaming market, which nearly ended gaming. It nearly died completely until I think actually Nintendo were lucky enough to bring it back from the grave. But if that happens again, and it might, the way things are somewhat going, because to be honest, the quality is getting lower and lower and lower. And if we keep doing the refunds and keep throwing shit back and stop kickstarting and that, then that's kind of on us that it might crash again. So it's a very, very hard to balance area where yes, you want to help these games that you want to hype or you have excitement for, you want to give money to so they create them, but at the same time you don't want to give it to the wrong companies that just burn you, and then everybody ends up saying, well, fuck it, I'm never doing it again, and then we got no games anymore.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes. Yep. I can only
Yes,
agree.
okay. Yep, I'll agree with that.
I only agree.
I concur.
Everyone agrees.
Was
Sorry.
busy Terraria being...
I'm fixing the chat.
Okay.
Sorry.
I
I just
Everyone's
noticed.
busy. God
I
damn it.
just noticed that the very newest comment actually doesn't show up in the chat, so I was fixing it. Okay, there we go.
All right. I will continue. Continue ranting then.
'Cause yes, you said you weren't going to rant,
Right.
but you managed to get one in there.
Well, something tipped me off. I think we're on a very very tilted slope. Whether it only takes one thing to push this one way or the other. It's either going to be that people keep reordering and keep giving money to the wrong places, and it's going to get worse and worse and worse. Where things like Batman, every title, we're just going to expect these to be a failure on release, and then have to wait a month before they're up to scratch, or a year, or whatever. Or we're going to throw our money back at everybody every time, and our expectations are going to be too high, and then people are going to stop putting effort in or just stop making completely because it's not worth it to them.
I don't think the latter will happen. I mean, maybe the first, where we'll keep throwing money. I see that much more likely. We'll just keep throwing money after, and for shitty games. But I think Steam, at least in the PC market, will make it a lot easier to get your money back for either shitty ports or shitty, just shitty games in general with full of bugs.
Yeah, which is fine as long as this doesn't get abused and people just use it as a way to just say, nah, this isn't good enough, when it is, when it meets what the standard should have been. Like, you can't expect everything to be perfect. Like, if it comes out released and there's like a couple of bugs for a few people and it blows up in the media and everybody throws their money back at them because one patch would have fixed it all, then
I don't.
How far do you take it?
I don't know that will happen. I mean, people will still want to play the game even if it's got a few bugs. Like with AAA titles or AA titles, I expect now there to be a few bugs, maybe even one or two game-breaking bugs. I'm thinking in particular of Bethesda-esque releases, where the game is good, but
Square Enix.
But it's got a few bugs, a few problems, maybe one or two really big ones that are fixed in a patch in 2 weeks from release. That is what I pretty much consider okay. I mean, it'd be obviously better if it didn't have any bugs, but I think given the complexity of games today, that's basically not going to happen without a lot more money into testing. And I think that's maybe where a lot of games companies perhaps skimp a little bit, especially recently, is testing for PC games. Console games, it's probably they still do quite a lot of testing and put a lot more money in, given it's probably a bigger market than PC gaming. But probably PC games are less of a priority for them.
I guess that's the other issue for developers, especially, is that balance of money, because you've got to invest your money into obviously the engine and the game and the graphics and all that, and then you've got to weigh that up against the time and money you've got to spend on testing and whatever else, and then marketing, which is, for some fucking reason, everybody seems to think that that's the biggest amount of money they need to spend on. So, how much do you put into that before the cost of the game starts to rise to the point where you can't, I'm sure they already have a large markup on most of their games, otherwise they're going to keep doing it, but until that becomes not worth it anymore. So you've got to sort of say, well, we can make this really amazing, great looking and mechanical game, but we haven't had time to test it enough, and it's probably going to be broken on release, because we spend all the money on making a good engine and marketing. And then you can say, well, okay, we'll spend more money on testing it to make sure it works perfectly. The game isn't up to the standard of all the other AAAs around, and we didn't market it very well, so not many people even know about it. So it's a very,
I do wonder what would happen if we just banned marketing for games altogether, like they did with smoking. Because you have the... It sounds bizarre, but it actually worked in the tobacco company's favour in terms of smoking, in that people still smoke, but now they don't have to spend all that money on advertising because it essentially leveled the playing
Yeah.
field, given that nobody can now
No one else
market,
could advertise.
and now they don't have to spend all that money.
But you know what that would do? That would then just make it like a it almost put it under the rug even more, which is already happening now with games media being paid to market, and then all of a sudden games media become the giants of who wins, which is not a good thing because games media is already under scrutiny enough. So you wouldn't want to give them any more power. But I can imagine that would be the way it'd go. But it would be good if, like, I think they could be smarter about their advertising than, you know, pushing with E3 and putting all these posters and shit and getting all these actors to come and do these amazing videos. When really you could just go to a couple of YouTubers and get them to play the game for fuck all. Well, for a decent amount of money, I'm sure. And then your game is out to billions of people who are in the demographic you're aiming for anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Which
that's
I see more and more happening.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I don't really see any games advertising in my sort of sphere, my visual sphere. Like, I don't see it in magazines because I don't read any. I don't see it on TV because I don't watch TV. Don't hear it on radio because I don't really listen to the radio. The only place I would see it is basically YouTube ads, and like websites that I would go to, like you know, gaming websites,
Gaming related websites.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I think they could be smarter with the way they're doing, especially given the new generation of gamers that are playing today who don't watch TV, don't listen to the radio, certainly don't watch or listen to it a lot, and spend a lot more time on YouTube and online. I do wonder if the advertising is skewing in that direction, or whether they're still trying to force it with the magazine advertising and the traditional advertising methods.
It's slightly already gone that way of the YouTube advertising, not with the AAA titles so much, because for some reason they don't get it that they don't need to do these massive advertising campaigns, because a lot of indie devs and I've seen interviews with them and whatever, and a lot of them say, if you can get or if a YouTuber plays your game, like a popular YouTuber plays your game, then that's all you need. You're done then, because then you're out there. And once one plays it, then they all jump on board because that's a new thing.
It's kind of like it spreads like a virus or an infection, doesn't it? You get one person
right.
to do it, and then the next person's like, oh, that looks like a good game or an interesting game or the next hot thing because they've played it.
People want to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then for that 1 or 2 weeks, they've just gotten free advertising across millions and millions of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which is more than, a fucking $100,000 ad on whatever YouTube or TV or movies could do.
And it's much better, even if it's even if they're critical of. I mean, that is the downside, is that if your game isn't very good, they'll be critical of it.
Yeah.
And that's bad for you, as opposed to advertising, which bullshits the consumer into thinking it's a good game. But it's sort of like with Steam, at least for PC gaming, it's like you can't advertise your way out of a shitty game anymore. It's
and that's good for balance.
Yeah, I think it's absolutely good for balance. It's good for the PC gaming industry as a whole because it keeps them honest, and it gives us a way to to throw back the shitty games in their face and say, no, this game is crap. It's nothing like you said it was going to be.
That's right, and that's like what I said in the last podcast. I did this year. Since these refunds has been the year of the consumer, like all of a sudden the consumer is just in so much, well, on PC anyway, it's in so much more power now that this could possibly, whether it does or not is yet to be seen, but this could possibly change the way games are done now because they can't take the risk now.
Yeah,
of people buying it and then being unhappy, because people buy it and are unhappy are then going to get their money back and they're out of pocket.
Well, I think what will happen is that we'll see a few more titles like this probably for the next 12 months, while developers
the ones that have already been developed.
Well, I don't think it's even that. I think it's a case of they won't learn for 12 months or more. They'll have to release a few more shitty titles before they go, oh shit, people aren't buying our game because it's crap, or it's full of bugs, or it's it's not what we advertised. and then they'll cotton on and go, oh, we should probably fix this before we release it. And in 2017, I reckon we'll see some solid titles with largely bug and glitch free.
Yeah, hopefully that is what is going to happen in the future. That these AAA titles are going to get whipped into shape and say, well, shit, guys, we need to start spending money on making our games good and not marketable.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, good graphics doesn't sell a game anymore. It used to be the case with print media and traditional media methods. Good graphics sold a game. Now, not so much because
Now Terraria is
Exactly right.
Terraria is the best.
Yep. Who needs good graphics?
Shitty graphics, best gameplay.
Well, that's part of the resurgence of the 16-bit gaming, the 16-bit gaming renaissance in that making games that look like they were made in the 80s. Mostly the
It's not even that. It just didn't suck.
Well, yeah, I mean that's exactly it. They're making games based on gameplay, not on graphics. They're not so worried so much about making it look good. They're worried about actually.
Graphics should always be second.
Yeah, exactly. Gameplay first, graphics second, or third, or fifth. So
that's the problem. They're not at the moment.
No, but I think we're starting to lean in more that direction where the game itself is a bigger part than just the graphics. Yeah.
And nowadays with things like Unity and Unity 4 especially, graphics are becoming easier for developers to do anyway. Well, some, not all. There are a few games where people have used the Unity engine which obviously do not know how to use it.
Yeah.
But it's definitely becoming easier. There are more tools available to make the game, so you don't have to spend so much time on doing the graphics and the engines and stuff like that, where you can spend more time on the game itself.
Do you think there'll be a case where there'll be a bunch of graphics engines, like 3 or 4 main graphics engines that get updated, and everybody just uses one of those engines, regardless of what sort of game you've got? There'll be the Unity engine. There'll be
that, really.
Well, yeah, I guess it kind of is, but there's still people who make their own.
You got Unity, Unreal, and Cry are the 3 main engines. Oh, and Riot.
Yeah, I guess so. And Source Engine, but that's getting pretty old. Or Source 2 engine, that's getting pretty old now. But yeah,
when Source 2 comes out, everybody will jump on that.
Yeah.
Just call it Mustard Source 2.
Oh, it's already out. Sorry, but there's only one game that's using it at the moment. It's
Source 2. This time it's ketchup.
Source 2 engine, yeah. Brand new engine. Dota's moved over to it now. So hopefully they'll do Counter-Strike next, and then they'll open it up to everyone. I think they said they were going to, at the end of the year, it was going to be available for devs.
Cool bananas.
We shall see.
Speaking of the Source engine, Garry's mod. It's still a thing.
Yeah, it's still about.
It's still about. Garry's mod's been around since 5 years, something like that. 4 years. 5 years.
It's been a long time.
It's been a bloody long time, and it started
longer than that, isn't it?
It started off as a mod, and then it turned into its own game, and it's still selling. It
was a mod for Half-Life 1, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was like the original Half-Life.
Was it the original Half-Life? I think it was Half-Life 2.
It was Half-Life 2. I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure it's Half-Life 2.
I think it was in Source. Yeah, let's look it up.
Yep, mod for Half-Life 2.
Garry's mod.
Oh, don't go down.
First released a decade ago. 10 years. If you're 10 years old, bloody hell. This game's older than you.
Oh, I was 15.
That's how old Half-Life 2 is. James.
Yeah, I know.
Half-Life 3, for fuck's sake.
Bloody hell, Gabe, get on it. So the reason this is in the news is they've just sold over 2.5 million. They sold 2.5 million copies last year. And given a game that's 10 years old, I don't know too many games that are, or mods or, software that's 10 years old that still sells 2.5 million units in a year. So, to give you some idea, they've sold 8.3 million units altogether. So that means in the last year they've sold more than a quarter of their in total, total sales. So What else was I going to say about Garry's Mod? We've all played Garry's Mod. We should stream. We should do a stream of
Yeah.
Garry's Mod.
Another game that was focused on gameplay, not physics.
Well, it wasn't even
No,
gameplay.
it was focused on sandbox, really.
It was focused on dicking around.
Well,
that's pretty much what it was for.
That's gameplay though. All the functions and stuff that is gameplay.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, it's a fun thing to sit down on, one night with some friends and just fuck around, making stupid contraptions and freeze frame stuff.
Well,
of,
people
getting
people can make their own games within the game. That's the best part.
Yeah, I mean, it's a surprisingly robust and flexible engine. I mean, it's a Source engine, so yeah,
It's all about Source.
it's all about the Source.
All about Source.
Mm. So yeah, it's amusing that it's well, not amusing. It's interesting that it sold 2.5 million units in the last year, and I'm not really sure why. Like, I mean, it's one of those things that's just kept on selling because it's on Steam. It's one of the things that when
YouTube.
Yeah,
YouTube. Well,
I think
people
just
playing
people making stupid YouTube
people
videos.
playing like hide and seek and Trouble in Terrorist Town and things like that. Things that because they're still going. They're still some of the people I watch still make Garry's Mod videos like every week, and they're still hugely popular.
Yeah, a couple of guys I follow. I can't remember their names offhand, but
And Vanos and
What
that.
sort of thing
Vanos,
is-
Cnans especially. He makes heaps of.
What sort
Garry's
of
Mod videos.
stuff are they making? Like, what are in these videos?
Just them, just their group of people playing together is all
Yeah.
they do,
Okay.
and just the funny
hide and seek,
shenanigans.
that sort of stuff.
Okay.
They're
Terrorist
just
Hunt
funny.
is another one.
They're just funny. I mean, we're funny, but they're funny too. Yeah.
We're funny.
I mean, we're hilarious.
They're just funny. Yeah. So it's cool that it's still going. I don't know if there's been that many updates to it. I know they've got a huge Steam Workshop store of like repertoire of objects and crap, but
You can download gigs and gigs from the Steam Workshop.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
ridiculous.
I think that's what's kept it so popular is that the community has added so much stuff into it.
Mm.
It's like you can pretty much get anything in this game. It's ridiculous
Mm.
the amount of stuff in there.
Yeah. And it's relatively easy for someone to sit down and just start creating random crap. Like we've spent nights on Garry's Mod making cars that barely worked and things that spin around and try to hit you in the face. So
Yeah, hot
yeah, I
tub
can-
death
And
machines.
yes.
Prop Hunt. Prop Hunt's a great game.
Yeah, that's it. That's fun.
Yeah. Well, I guess there's a lot of mods for Garry's Mod. Not mods, but gameplay.
Even the RPG mods and stuff where you can like open up a shop and you got cops and you got just that sort of stuff. It's crazy. Some of the things.
Yeah. So good work, Garry Newman. That'll be you retire now.
I reckon he retired a while ago.
No, he made Rust.
Oh really?
Yep.
God damn it, he's on fire.
And that sold
He's done
2.5
alright.
million copies last year, and that's actually that Rust goes for like $40 or $50 on Steam, whereas Garry's Mod goes for not a lot, given it's been around for so long. I'm sure chat will tell us.
Just looking at the
Point
Garry's
out
Mod
Rust is another
Workshop,
fantastic game.
there's 685,851 entries in the workshop.
Wow,
Just a couple of things.
that's a lot of
Yeah,
objects.
just a few.
You can populate
And
it
some
well
of
with
them
that.
are packs. They've got more than one thing.
Yeah,
in.
pretty much.
That's crazy.
Mm. I don't know. Every time you want to join a Garry's Mod server, you have to download like gigs of crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Catch up with everything everybody else has fucking downloaded.
Shall we move on?
Yeah, sure.
Let's.
Questions. So, if you're in chat and you're thinking to yourself,
And
God, I
answers.
wish I could ask these guys a question. Well, you can. You can type it into chat, and we shall see it, and we shall answer. If we're
Yes,
paying
we're very
attention.
good like that.
Yeah, we're good like that.
Probably
Why-
sarcastically.
While you're writing all your millions of questions, I'm sure you have for us all, let's talk about the games we've been playing this week.
Who shall we start with?
Well, we've all been playing pretty much the same game.
Well, let's leave that till last. Has anyone been playing the game that we didn't play last night?
I
I have.
played. Oh yes, go Pucks. You
Go Bags.
I have been playing. Oh crap! Now I got to remember what the name of it is.
While
it is
Pucks is thinking.
Yeah. While I'm thinking.
Okay, I've been playing.
Drumroll.
Fuck, now I can't remember.
Oh,
Here we go.
God.
I've got it back.
There you go. You
Back
go,
to
Pucks.
Pugs.
I've been playing a mod, not a mod, it's like a community expansion for the Portal series called Portal Stories Mel.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've only played about an hour into it. Just had a quick go the other day, but yeah, it's really good. It's got voice acting in it. The guy that voices name. Who's the big guy that owns
It's not actually him though.
Aperture Science? It's not him. It's just a fan that has imitated his voice. Cage Johnson?
Yeah, Case.
Case Johnson, yeah. Yeah, he talks quite a bit through it. There's a lot of dialogue, and the puzzles are really cool. And the best part is it's free, so
Get onto that.
yeah.
What's it
definitely
called?
check
Is
out
it a
if you were fan of
standalone?
Portal. It is not standalone. It's a standalone download, but you need the Portal games to play it.
Portal 2, presumably.
Yes, I think so.
Okay. So what is it actually? Is it
double
like
check
an
that.
extension of the story, or just a new story for Portal?
It is a prequel.
Oh, interesting. I do remember reading the other day. I didn't actually look very into it at all, but I just saw a headline saying something along the lines of, "This game could have been produced by Valve," or "This mod could have been produced by Valve," or something like that. And I was like, "Oh, well, it must be good."
It's got a different feel to the proper Portal games, but yeah, it's still very, very polished.
Oh, cool. Keegs, what have you been playing?
I have been playing. I streamed the other day a game called Lisa.
Indeed, you did. I watched it, and it was good.
It's fucking weird. It's a very weird game.
It was weird.
It's a side-scrolling RPG based around a guy who has found a baby who turns out to be the last female on the planet, which is a post-apocalyptic setting. And you go on a journey she gets taken from you, and you go on a journey to find her again. And you meet some fucking weird people along the way. But it's also kind of like party RPG-ish, where whenever you get in a battle, you sort of go into the old school Final Fantasy scenes where you've got your party and you've got to decide what they do in a turn-based combat.
Yeah.
It's
a little bit of everything, that game, wasn't it? It was a little bit RPG, a little bit side scroll, a little bit
had some pretty good humor in it though.
It had a couple of things that made me laugh. I wouldn't say it had good humor.
Well, I accidentally set fire to a bunch of orphans.
Yes.
Yeah.
Doing well.
Yeah, and what else did I do? I accidentally jumped off a building and like smashed somebody's head into a table, and the other guy laughed so hard he gave me a beer. and I think probably the best thing that I'd seen in it so far was I met a guy called Nern, and he joined my party, but he constantly interrupts you with completely irrelevant stories about his old life, about his wife, or his past wife, and how his neighbor's wife is so much better looking, and he hated the fact that his neighbor's wife was better looking because his neighbor wasn't taller than he was, and he didn't understand why they were together. And these were like long rants about that, and it's just the way he talks about it is fucking hilarious. Yeah, that part alone is worth watching. It's hilarious.
Yeah, it was I watched it all, but it was a weird game.
Yeah, it was. I don't know if I'll play it again because like the writing was really good. There was a lot of nothing in between, and it was a bit repetitive.
Yeah, it kind of was.
Yeah. I really liked the dialogue, but the gameplay was a bit lacking.
Yeah, it was kind of like it was a little bit like watching soccer, where there's like nothing. Oh, it's fucking awesome, and then there's nothing again.
Yeah. There's a lot far and in between.
Who else? Nate, what have you been playing? Have you been playing anything?
Nope.
Moving along.
An
You're
unusual.
playing Dirt Rally,
You played Dirt. I
Um,
saw you played
like-
Dirt earlier.
All of like 5 minutes maybe.
Well, that counts.
Yeah, not really. I didn't do a great deal. We'll see. I'll play some more tomorrow. Catch up in 2 weeks' time on it.
Yeah, 2 weeks time will let us know how it is. Who else do we have?
There's Heath.
Heath.
I'll go. What have we playing? We're not playing. Talking about the game we played last night, are we?
Not yet.
No, we can do.
Actually, yeah. If you unless you have something else.
Well, not really. To be honest.
Okay. Well,
so the game we played last night.
yeah. So
So-
it's not a big surprise. We played Pulsar: The Lost Colony. Is that what it's called? Lost Colony?
Yeah, Lost Colony.
Yep.
Yeah.
Lost or last?
The Lost
Lost.
Colony. Yeah.
The Lost Colony.
Yeah, and
Lost Colony.
it's a 5-player cooperative game, sort of like FTL, but it's first person. It's in pre-beta, which is alpha. And that's a bit that, like, it says down the bottom right-hand corner, pre-beta. It's like, well, that's alpha, isn't it?
That's alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't try
Maybe
and
they
dress
don't
it up
like
with
the
these
word.
new words.
Yeah, you can't bullshit your way out of this one. It's alpha. But yeah, we had a great time last night. I think we played 3 hours. Keegs is
Yeah,
making
Had a great time.
Keegs is making a video of it, and I made a video of it today.
I was.
Oh, you were making a video of it, and his recording fucked up halfway through. So,
I
yeah.
had some
Oh,
corruption
really?
issues, so I had to
Yeah.
redo that.
But I cut together today a best of video, which will probably go up. What's today? Monday, probably Wednesday. And it was actually really good. It was a lot of us just dicking around, being stupid.
Yeah.
And you can actually see some of the gameplay of like how it worked and what each person's role was. And so the basic idea is there's 5 people on the ship. You each have a role that you perform. There's pilot, weapons specialist, captain, a science officer, and there's one other one. I can't remember what it is.
Weapons
Engineer.
specialist.
I said weapons
An
specialist.
engineer, yeah.
Engineer, yeah. So yeah, we all took a role.
Most important role, I'll have you know.
We all took a
Very
role.
important.
And
Salad rolls, chicken rolls.
There was colours I had to monitor.
yes.
Yeah.
If,
Lots
the
of
re-
blue and green.
if there's too much red, we need more.
Lots
need
of
more
blue and green.
So it's
Better
very
mix some green with the red.
yeah. It's very very basic. In terms of like graphics quality, but the gameplay is like mechanically it's mostly there. I mean it needs probably more polish on the mechanics or more things to do for each player, but
Needs more content.
yeah, I mean yeah, exactly. It needs more content. But we flew a ship around. We blew some shit up. We eventually found some planets. Went down and conquered those, and we had a great time.
That's what I did.
Conquered.
Well, we if we'd had a flag, we'd have stuck it
We
in there.
eradicated.
We come in peace. Shoot to kill. Shoot to kill.
It's basically how it went.
Yeah.
Well, they did shoot at us first, little pricks.
Yeah, that is true. We didn't even know they were there until
No.
they started shooting at us.
Oh, I knew they were there. I was
Keegs'
outside for
CS:GO
hours.
trading
Yeah,
kicked
security
in,
officer.
and he was like, "Fuck yes, I'm all on it." It's like, bang.
I was out for blood.
He was.
I had an itchy trigger finger and I was ready to kill.
He charged those motherfuckers like there was no tomorrow.
Phasers set to extinct.
This setting kills you and your entire family.
Goodbye, your entire planet. Culture and everything.
Yeah, so it was. We had great fun. I think
That was a good time.
yeah, we like
It
it's
was $40, so
yeah, like was it 20? Yeah, 29 bucks
$25.
US. So it was
20,
about 40 bucks for us. And yeah, and one of the dickish things that I'm not sure whether they've done on purpose or not is that you can't buy it through Steam. You can only buy it through their website, and they'll send you a Steam key, which means you can't get a refund if you think it's shit.
Yeah.
Which is I'm
but
slightly
that's
worried. what
actually
people are
worth
gonna-
$40.
Yeah, in saying that though, it wasn't shit. So it was.
Yeah, I mean it was fine in the end.
It's one
but-
of the only games we've bought pre beta that hasn't
Yeah.
been shit.
Mm.
As long, hopefully they continue. Actually, me and Fotis today, he came and visited me at work. And we're watching the dev videos, and the newest one actually we'll have to look at later is you can get to they're currently building like a hub where they want to have like the markets and trading and stuff like that. And there's you can't get there by flight at the moment, but there is a cheat that will warp you directly there, so you can go and have a look.
Oh, cool.
You're right.
So they're
Are they aiming for this to be more than just like a co-op 5-player?
I'm not sure. That's one thing I don't know is whether
Because that hub sort of makes it seem like, oh, we're going to have people meeting.
Yeah, well,
Like an MMO.
As they were walking around, they were more like, oh, this is where they wanted to have like the marketplace, or this is where like the black market ships and stuff like that. Like it was more of a large thing where you could go and missions or talk to people or buy stuff, and just that's what I was getting from it. I don't know whether they plan to make a multiplayer or not, but I have no idea. Like rather than co-op, make it massively multiplayer or whatever. I did find out what the infected was.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, it's some sort of, they're like little parasites. It's like the tribbles basically.
No way.
Yeah, so they're like these organisms that they can infect your ship, and they infect planets and stuff like that.
Do we know if they can actually damage parts of the ship as opposed to just damaging the ship as a whole? Because I noticed that some of the objects inside the ship have a health meter.
I tested that theory. I shot our engines at one point and then quickly had to repair them because it did take damage off.
Oh, cool. So I'm guessing maybe at some point you actually get boarded by AI, and they actually damage parts of the ship.
I've seen videos of people being boarded. There must be.
I reckon if you go
they
into...
suck a lot more than us.
The red zones.
I reckon they go into the red zones, and get boarded. So
we'll have to give that a go next time we play.
Yeah, we pretty much we stuck to the blue zones.
There is just looking now as well. There is actually the beta part in the properties of the game, so we could actually go to the advanced beta.
Ooh.
It's better than regular
every
beta.
update.
Yeah,
it's
advanced.
It's beta.
It's pre-beta.
It's pre-beta. There you go.
It's egg beta.
Ooh, egg beta.
Egg beta.
Oh yeah, and the updates thing.
Yeah, so we had great fun playing that. I haven't played anything out of the ordinary apart from Armour and Armour 3. Pulsar was probably... I mean, we were going to play Citizen Burger Disorder last night, but we ended up playing Pulsar because I think it was just... We were waiting for Nate Dogg waiting for Nate Dogg to turn up, and then we were like, oh, let's play Pulsar. And then we were like, we'll just sit here and play it till he gets here. And then we were like, we all got engrossed in it. And
like, this is great!
Having way too much fun.
Yeah, we were.
Yep.
So
I went to bed and cried because I wasn't invited.
we were invited,
but
we already had 5 players.
Yeah.
So that is actually a bit of a...
That is one issue with it, actually.
A bit of a butthole.
Bit of a dick move.
Yeah. I mean, I guess you've got to have... you've got to have a limit, but... I mean, I guess you could have 2 people doing one job.
There's another turret. You could throw another person in there.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
I mean, there's multiple cannons. It's not like it's, nothing to do.
And with all the computers, you can actually have 2 people using them at once because they both see their own screen. It's not they're just not replicated across all people. So you can have them both searching for stuff or fixing different parts of the ship or maintaining whatever. So
or even you could even just split out the roles. You
Multiple
could have
stations around the ship as well.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could split out the roles. Have like lead engineer and pleb engineer.
Bitch engineer. Yeah.
I was thinking about that. I mean, surely there must be a way that you can make it. You probably have to make an option, but make it more spread out, so there's more roles and more more things you can do.
Mm.
Yeah, it's one of those games.
Have engine controls like down in the engine, and then have shields and comms.
Or even
and stuff like that.
in larger ships with more roles.
Yeah.
The video we were watching today with the devs were on, their ship was huge compared to ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a little one, I think.
Their bridge was like a massive big circle with like a big glass dome over top of it. It was cool.
You're right.
Sweet.
Well, maybe we should opt into the advanced beta.
Yeah.
And report back.
The advanced egg beta.
Yes, we shall explore more.
Segue
We
beta.
shall find new life and new civilizations and boldly go where no man has gone before.
Yeah.
Again.
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 So we might even do a stream of that at some point in the future. I was actually going to stream it last night, but partner wanted to watch Netflix, so that didn't happen.
Wonder what sort of. I didn't even see what sort of network usage I had.
Well, it's actually.
Surely it couldn't be much.
I'd realised that. Well, I didn't realise, but Peter realised after, because he was hosting the server, that I think he had his VPN on, so we were actually going via the US back to his machine and then back via the US. So my ping was like 500.
Can't be much.
But saying that, you don't really notice.
I noticed a bit. People getting some warping. Like it was mostly fine. Like it was certainly playable. But I did notice that some people would just
of course
disappear.
we're going to warp.
I did notice some buggy movements, but nothing huge.
Yeah, I mean it was.
I just assumed that was the game.
Yeah. So no, it was good. If you're wondering whether you should play it, if you've got 5 friends or 4 friends who you think might actually be interested in this sort of thing, give it a go.
You can play it by yourself, but fuck, try and do all of that at once. And they do have the bots. You can have bots take over roles.
Yeah.
How good they are, I do.
I think they're pretty good.
They're okay at shooting. They weren't great. I don't know how they are at everything else.
Yeah. Oh yeah, the enemy ones.
Mm.
Well, they didn't move though when they were shooting at us. They just stood there. I went running up to them. By the time I actually realised what they were all dead.
Oh right. We'd sort of spawned or warped into this Colosseum.
Teleported down.
Yeah, teleported down to this Colosseum thing, and just over right on the other side of the Colosseum, you could see 3 sort of black figures. And as we sort of advanced towards them, they started shooting at us. And Keegs' reaction was, "Fucking run at them and start shooting as fast as hard as you could."
Everyone else tried to find cover.
Yeah, everyone else took cover. And Keegs "Yep,
man.
I'll get him."
That's why I've got the red shirt. Come on.
Yeah. I do wonder if someone how do you deal with death? Nobody died in our mission. Spoilers, by the way.
You have a respawn timer.
Pretty sure it's a respawn time, yeah.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because one of my perks was to lower the respawn.
Okay. I wonder how long the respawn is. I hope it's 5 minutes or something actually substantial, not 30 seconds.
Yeah, that makes you actually care about your life.
Incentive not to die.
Yeah.
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 It'd be interesting to see how we go with boarding parties and that. I mean, we didn't really get into any firefights we couldn't easily handle.
Mm. Yeah, we pretty much just killed everything we came across.
Yeah, I've seen videos of guys getting destroyed by 3 or 4 ships at once attacking them. So
we were destroyed by that big one at the end there.
we didn't get destroyed. We left.
That big the ancient.
We made a tactical runaway.
Yeah.
We advanced in a rearward direction.
Tactical retreat.
We probably could have gotten it, but it would have taken an hour because we were doing fuck all damage.
Well, we actually flew up inside it, so it
Hours.
couldn't shoot us, and then just shot it from the inside. I'm not sure if you're supposed to be able to do that,
Viable
but
tactic in space.
we did.
We did it.
Yeah, we did it well.
So good we are.
So the website for Pulsar, anybody? Nobody's- nobody's-
Yes, I think it's
Nobody's looked this up.
I'm sure you can Google it.
PulsarTheGame.com.
There you go.
Pulsar the game, very original.
Pugs is on the ball.
Onto it.
So, do we actually have any questions that weren't just ridiculous?
I don't think so.
Somebody
I
asked
answered most of them.
Peter asked what the fucking orbital velocity of the moon was.
I told him.
Oh, you did.
42.
Nice work. Cake or death?
What's the meaning of
Definitely
life?
cake.
Yeah,
What's the
42.
meaning of life? 42. Easy. Fuck, marry, kill.
Fuck, marry, kill. Angelina Jolie.
I don't know who Justin Jolie is.
Justin Timberlake.
Who's Justin Jolie?
Angelina. No, they've got different last names, so they're not sisters.
Or maybe they are, and he's just misspelled them.
Hang on. Oh, I shall Google.
I think I've screwed up here. Sorry.
This is
This is great content for everybody who's listening. So no, there was no questions in there.
no questions.
So yeah, unless you've got a question and you can type it out in the next 30 seconds, we'll probably wrap this up, I think.
Justine Jolie was a pornographic actress.
Oh, very good.
Good on her.
Good on her. Definitely kill her.
Hard worker, I'm sure.
Definitely killed her.
Well, someone's got to go.
Let
So
Justin Timberlake live.
I could marry Justin Timberlake. He's probably got a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
Take one for the team,
Yeah, I'd take one for the team.
as they say.
Well, he might be a
I'd marry the
receiver,
shit
you
out
don't
of
know.
JT. Oh, I have been playing another game.
Oh.
Just quickly, another
Enlighten
alpha.
us.
It's a mod for GTA 5 called LSPDFR.
Is that
Which
a
stands for
cops one?
Los Santos Police Department. Yeah.
It's like a cops and robbers type thing.
Sort of, but more advanced. It allows you to be a police officer in the world of GTA.
Right.
Yeah, getting answer calls. You can pull people over. You can chase people. You can shoot them and tase them and
I think they had a thing like
do
that
all sorts
for,
of cop-like things.
They had a thing like that for GTA 4, didn't they? Like same sort of mod.
Yep, same mob doing this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet. I'd give that a go.
Yeah, it's still very early days, but there's a lot of promise in there. Already they've got quite a lot of the stuff that they had in GTA 4's mod into GTA 5.
Mm. Yeah, I think I actually downloaded the GTA 4 one, and it was a little bit buggy, but it was.
Good night,
it was
guys.
fun.
That's good.
Skates off to bed. Night, Skates. Yeah, I had a bit of fun dicking around with it in GTA 4 from what I remember. So yeah, I'd like to download it and give it a go.
Yeah, I think they're in 0.2.
In beta or alpha?
0.02. It's very
Pre-beta.
early alpha.
Very early alpha.
Yeah,
Okay.
pre-beta.
No,
Pre-alpha.
no pre-beta. Ridiculous. Ridiculous. Okay. I'll just check my Twitter very quickly and make sure nobody's tweeted at me. I also have 96 followers on Twitter, so if you're you might be the lucky 100th Twitter follower, and I'll give you a shout out or something similar.
A huge prize.
A huge prize, which will just be me saying, "Oh, congratulations, you're the 100th Twitter follower." it'll be
Like a pop-up ad.
It'll be more exciting for me than it will be for you. Let me tell you.
I'm gonna...
No, I haven't received.
If one
any.
more person follows me, you'll be the lucky 30th. Yay!
Yay!
Maybe we should just install some free toolbars for them. That could be that'd be a prize.
You weird.
It's what you get when you.
A free
Yeah,
toolbar.
that's right. That's what you get when you're the 100th visitor or something, isn't it?
Oh, that's right. Yes.
Free toolbars.
Click here. You're the 100th. Claim a prize. Ridiculous.
Have a toolbar.
Ridiculous. All right. If you've got any questions for next week's pod or next fortnight's podcast, I'm going to call it next week's the next podcast. You can tweet about us, or you can actually leave a question in the comments below. The only question we had, well, it wasn't even really a question. It was Pete 10353539, whatever number it is.
Lots of numbers.
Numbers. I don't have it open, so I can't tell.
Peter Numbers.
Peter Numbers. Posted 2 videos of Evo this weekend, and it was just like interesting finales for the Street Fighter championships, and it was interesting to see, you know, exactly how they turned out. One guy ripped off his shirt, and another guy, I'm trying to remember what happened now. It was ridiculous.
He also ripped up his shirt.
Well, yeah, the other guy, like one guy got up on stage, pulled his belt off, ripped off his shirt, and then the other guy's like, "All right, I'm gonna rip off my shirt," and there was a lot of white flesh there.
Then one guy started celebrating a bit
Oh,
early
that's right,
because
yes.
it wasn't the end, and then he lost.
Yeah, because the one guy, one guy beat the world champion of, was it Street Fighter 2 or 3 or 5 or whatever number they're up to now, whatever it was.
Or something.
And it goes in rounds, so he thought it was the final round, and he thought he'd beaten him, so he jumped up off his chair and was like, you know, whooping up the crowd, and the other guy's sitting there on the last round beating the living crap out of him, and then he won.
Yeah.
Which I thought showed poor sportsmanship, but you know, there seemed to be a lot of it going around on that particular.
They get serious about their beaten uppings.
Yeah. So that was interesting. It wasn't quite newsworthy, I don't think, but it was interesting to watch.
Yes.
So
That wraps it up, doesn't it?
I think we should call it there. It's we've been about an hour and a half, so that's about what we usually go for. So good night, everybody. Check us out on the podcast is now on my channel, so youtube.com/user/Xenon3D. If you're watching this, you're probably already on it. If you're listening to this on SoundCloud, what's the URL for the SoundCloud, Keegs?
It is We Play Podcast. SoundCloud/Play Podcast, I believe.
Cool. So yeah, if you're listening to this on the YouTube,
Yes.
on YouTube, and you're going, fuck, I'm sure I listen to
/We
this in
Play
the car,
Podcast.
you could download it there and listen to it.
Yes.
And many funs will be had. Yeah. So Twitter's at the bottom. Check out at KeegsHeagle, at Xenon_ST. Check out my blog. Check out Keegs' channels. They're linked in the description, I believe. And we'll catch up with you all in a couple of weeks. So good night, everybody.
Huzzah.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everybody.